gang, those are European police using water cannons against farmers who are spraying manure right back at them. The European farmer revolt is in full force against the bullies in Brussels and their Davos-inspired climate policies, and they're winning, and winning big. We're going to see the latest. And then, you won't believe what this state just did to the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization. This is going to absolutely make your day. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you stay sane during these insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and let's dive right in. The European farmers' protest continues to surge throughout the continent. Now British farmers have joined the revolt. Scenes are coming out of London of farmers driving dozens, if not hundreds of tractors in a slow-motion convoy to protest globalist rules, regulations, and trade deals that are adversely affecting their livelihood and their ability to farm. Those British farmers are joining the mass farmer protest in Brussels, the seat of the EU, where numerous tractors and trucks have sealed off streets close to the European headquarters. The EU's agricultural ministers are coming together there today to discuss the crisis in Europe's agricultural sectors that's led to months and months of these farmers' protests. Now, at the heart of this, of course, are Davos-inspired regulations that are making it virtually impossible to farm, which, of course, is the intention. Farming is seen by the demons in Davos at the WEF as bad for the environment, and therefore it has to either be radically recalibrated around green initiatives or done away with altogether. So that's for the farmers. For us, for consumers, well, apparently when Davos envisions a future when we own nothing, that includes our food. Well, I'm ecstatic to announce that the farmers just got a huge European-wide victory. The AP is reporting that a major European Union plan to impose more radical climate restrictions on the farmers has been officially dropped. Environmentalists were stunned to find out that a so-called biodiversity bill that was expected to easily clear all bureaucratic and legislative hurdles was actually stopped in its tracks, and largely, of course, because of the effectiveness of these protests throughout the European continent. What's key here is that all of these Eurocrats, these members of the European Parliament, they're actually all up for re-election just 3 months from now. And guess who's poised to take control of the European Parliament? That's right. It's the so-called far right, the radical right, the nationalist populists of Europe. And so what's so key here is that we've already seen this play out actually at a micro level, a national level. Last year, tens of thousands of Dutch farmers rose up against lawmakers in The Hague, the Dutch parliament, who voted to follow orders directly from the World Economic Forum and slash their nation's emissions by forcing farmers to use less fertilizer, cut their livestock herd numbers, which involves killing off a lot of their livestock, or even just stop work altogether. So the farmers rose up, and the Dutch police responded by going full Trudeau on them. In the name of democracy and liberty, Dutch police brutally cracked down on the protesters. But despite all those Gestapo-like tactics, the Dutch farmers refused to back down. They fought back, they mobilized, they politically organized, and they put together one of the newest political parties in all of Europe, a farmers' party known as the BBB. And guess what happened? In an absolutely stunning upset, the BBB won the Netherlands Senate elections in a blowout. And then, because the election was such a political earthquake, the Dutch government basically collapsed. It fell apart. The very coalition that sought to implement these Davos-inspired policies imploded. And they had to hold snap elections, and then the real political earthquake came, something no globalists ever imagined in their worst nightmares. The ultra-far right Geert Wilders and his Dutch Freedom Party won the snap election again in a blowout. And so if the Netherlands is any indicator of this pattern here, what we're seeing play out here in Brussels may indeed be a forecast of the absolute populist blowout in the upcoming parliament elections just a few months from now. But it's not just Europe that's pushing back against the demons in Davos and the EU. Wait until you see what's happening here in the United States. Hey Hey gang, if you ever wanted to explore historical cities with a group of cool, courageous patriots, well, now's your chance to embark on an exclusive adventure with me, Dr. Steve, and other patriots like you as we set sail on the Mediterranean. You're invited to join us this August on Royal Caribbean's luxury liner, the Voyager of the Seas. You get to spend time with me and other like-minded patriots during live onboard classes as we dive into topics like the rising parallel economy, the culture wars, and how you can share my optimism in conservative renewal. We'll discover enchanting architecture, timeless artistry, and breathtaking experiences as we adventure through Spain, France, and Italy. Enjoy incredible dining experiences, enriching education, and once-in-a-lifetime attractions each day of our journey. It'll be a summer you'll simply never forget. Join me and your fellow patriots this August 5th to 12th for this unparalleled adventure. If you want more info and want to take part in our last-minute pricing sale, my team's waiting to talk to you right now. There are only a handful of cabins left, so don't wait. Click on that link below or go to cruiseinfo.turleytalks.com to learn more. It's an incredible, absolutely amazing trip that we have planned, and I can't wait to spend it with you. Click on that link below right now. The great state of Louisiana is pushing back against the WEF and the World Health Organization. The Louisiana Senate just passed a bill that would make it illegal for the WEF or the WHO to have any legal jurisdiction whatsoever over their citizens. And get this, the bill passed the Senate by a vote of 37-0. It was unanimous. It's expected to easily pass the state house, and it'll be signed by the great Republican governor there. Now, what we have to understand here, what both the European Farmers' Revolt and the Louisiana Senate are both suggestive of, is the fact that the world is changing in such a way that the WEF is becoming less and less relevant. There's no way around this. Even the New York Times is admitting this. They're openly recognizing that the world is changing, and it's changing in ways that threaten to bring an end to the very existence of the WEF itself. The WEF, according to the New York Times, is losing its relevance. It's losing its influence, its power to direct and dictate political and economic life around the world. And this is largely because more and more populations are deliberately turning away from globalism and globalist institutions and are instead embracing nationalism, populism, and traditionalism. In fact, scholars are recognizing that the world order as a whole is changing, where what's called a multipolar world is reconfiguring around new economic centers like BRICS, a global economic bloc that's grown exponentially with the inclusion of OPEC nations like Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Iran, with dozens more lining up to join. And as a result, this new economic bloc is providing the global platform for new bilateral trade agreements and financial activities that deliberately bypass the WEF's vision of the world. And so with the rise of nationalism in the West and a new powerful economic bloc in the non-West, there really isn't much room for the WEF anymore and frankly anywhere. The days of Davos are numbered. As it turns out, they are the ones, ironically, who will own nothing.